covering the Ozarks for 60 years. This is KY3 News at 5.
60 years in the Ozarks. Live tonight from Lake of the Ozarks, and man, is it beautiful and a little hot out here.
It is a gorgeous spot out here. Not as hot as it could be. We know that to be true for sure. This is our fourth stop in a series of stops, 10, in fact, all across the Ozarks. Tonight we are at the beautiful Wilmore Lodge. It's just a short distance up the shoreline from Bagnell Dam. Take a look at this place. It really is gorgeous. All these logs that you're seeing, they're all original. They were put together back in 1930, cost $135,000. The logs were actually cut and assembled in Oregon before they were taken apart and then brought here to this very spot on the shoreline of the Lake of the Ozarks and reassembled. It is now a museum and a historic site. Beautiful place, isn't it?
It is awesome, and it is bigger than it looks. It is a sprawling compound, really, and you can even rent this place out for special events, which are pretty cool showstoppers.
We have a nice crowd on hand here, too. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all. We're going to be a number of places all across the Ozarks. We'll be next week at Roaring River.
A lot of history. Bagnell Dam came along just really at the right time for thousands of workers who had been left jobless right around the Great Depression. Mike Landis has more tonight on its history.
Whether in the water or on the water, Lake of the Ozarks has become the center of fun in the Show Me State.
Really sprang up big and became a major tourism spot.
But before all the tourists and traffic, before the towns, and even before the lake, there was the mighty Bagnell Dam, which started it all.
It only took 18 months for the dam to be built.
Starting in 1929, it didn't take long to transform the untamed wilderness, moving the earth to get ready for the water.
Obviously, it was a huge task, and building this dam, it still amazes us today that they could build such a structure in a very short period of time.
If you tried to do that today, you couldn't get the first permit in 18 months, let alone build a dam in 18 months.
As the nation slipped into the Great Depression, Bagnell Dam climbed block by block at the hands of 20,000 workers.
And they came without the promise of a job. They just came with the hope that there would be a job here. Once they got here.
When it was built, it was one of the larger dams in the country.
Local historians say there's something very strange about the construction of the dam. If you look across, you can see there are 13 spillways for water to flow out. 12 of those were completed, but when you get to number 13, that one was never done, and it remains closed off.
As the story goes, the president of Union Electric was superstitious and didn't want to have 13 floodgates.
But the power company,
that's not exactly right,
says that's just a legend. That extra slot up there is for storage space.
It was never intended for a spillgate.
One thing is for sure, Bagnell Dam and Lake of the Ozarks have brought a lot of good luck to the area.
I don't think anyone realized when the dam was being built the economic impact that the dam and the dam project would have in central Missouri.
History of Bagnell Dam and what it's created here at the Lake of the Ozarks. And of course, you know, when you drive through here and you stop and you stay the weekend, you know that there's no shortage of fun things to do here at the lake.
It'll last you a lot longer than a weekend.
Yeah.
In addition to the resorts, the shopping, the go-karts, that whole long list, there is also an amazing state park. KY3's Ashley Reynolds has a look at that.
The lake is known to draw a crowd, but for those looking for a peaceful serenity, there's a place not too far off the beaten path.
Horseback riding, of course, is very fun. It's very popular. So
Yes.
If you go out, you will need a reservation to horseback ride.
Welcome back to Celebrate the Ozarks on Lake of the Ozarks. I know this looks easy, but it's not. It's extremely difficult, isn't it, Jack Uxa?
Very difficult out here.
Gang, we are in the lap of luxury. This is where we need to do the newscasts and sportscasts all the time. Jack Uxa is one of the guides up on Lake of the Ozarks.
Welcome back. We are live at Lake Lake of the Ozarks for Celebrate the Ozarks, celebrating 60 years of KY3 right here from the beautiful Wilmore Lodge. And man, look at that view. And lucky Ned Reynolds is out there fishing.
He's out there fishing. I didn't see him catch anything, but I heard he had a really big one on the line. It just got away.
Hopefully it cooks it up for us.
You know how that works. Hey, we have a great crowd out here. Thanks for coming out, guys. You guys have been fantastic. This is part of the crowd brave enough to come outside in the heat to watch us. Everybody else is inside the beautiful Wilmore Lodge. Hey, everybody here has a chance to win a big 60-inch flat panel HD TV. If you come out to any of our broadcasts and register, we'll be giving it away at the end of the 6 o'clock newscast. We'll see you then.
Back here live at 6.
Covering the Ozarks for 60 years. This is KY3 News at 5.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Emily Wood, live here for KY3 News at 5 along with Steve Grant, and we are at the beautiful Roaring River State Park, very close to Cassville.
A great place to be, and as you know, KY3 is celebrating 60 years on the air, and we're doing so on the road. 300 people here, and at least that many lined up for the free TV drawing. So if you're coming, by the way, to come see us for the 6 o'clock news, bring your lawn chair.
Yes. A nice comfy spot out here under the shade tree.
It's nice. It's nice. This is God's country. He checks in every night and leaves every morning because it's Roaring River State Park. Pristine, cool, beautiful water, and lots of trout, of course.
Yeah, a little warm out here, but we are in the shade, and you can almost feel the coolness coming from the river because it's normally right about 56 degrees coming off that cool water.
All right, of course, we didn't discover this. Settlers have been coming here since the early 1800s to cool off and get water and to enjoy nature and survive, as well as making a new home in the Ozarks. We'll be looking at the modern-day roots of this facility, which are all part of FDR's New Deal, and also everything that was built here by the Civilian Conservation Corps, for those of you who are old enough to remember the CCC.
Plus, a little later, the man known as Mr. Cassville, Emery Melton. If you don't know him, you need to. We have an awesome story about his history and the importance that he has to this area.
All right, so that brings us to a place that's been a gathering spot, as we said, for nearly 200 years, and actually a minor battle during the Civil War.
Yes, Ethan Forheads has been doing the history lesson on here, and he is talking about the Roaring River, how it became a state park and became what you see here today.
Look anywhere at Roaring River State Park and you'll see nature's beauty and serenity. They're impossible to miss. But if you're not careful, you could miss an important element of the park. Its history.
They accomplished some amazing things.
They are the 1,500 boys of the Civilian Conservation Corps who carved this park out of the wilderness in the 1930s.
Thanks, Ethan. And the boys of the CCC, as they were known, worked for $30 a day, ate for them $22 to send back home to the families struggling through the Great Depression.
There were a lot of people in the CCC around here who probably remember those days. They do. Well, of course, like the famous credit card, we can't leave home without him. Our KY3 Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Ron Hurst is just upstream, where that very cold spring empties out and drains through Roaring River State Park. He has our first forecast. Rut, what's going on up there?
Well, Steve, I tell you, it's nice and cool up here by where the spring comes down. As you were saying earlier, it's kind of nature's air conditioning. And we're in the shade, so it's a beautiful day. A little bit of cloud cover out there, but not too bad. Plenty of sunshine. We're going to start with our radar satellite composite.
I got to tell you, it is a little warmer over here by the Dutch oven cooking station.
And it's a little tastier
Larry
over here.
Quintelli has it all going for us, and you're making something that looks really good. That's what the finished product is, and you're doing this all. How does this cooking process work?
Well, this is a number 12 regular. It's only so deep. If you're baking something, you have to have some heat on top to warm the air down to it. Otherwise, I can control the heat within this Dutch oven to within 25 degrees.
And how old is Dutch oven cooking?
Lewis and Clark had them with them when they went to the West Coast. On the way back, it is alleged that one of them was traded for a horse.
I'll be darned.
So they've been around ever since the early colonies.
Okay.
This is an old art. So this is going to take how long for you to make this dish for us?
The same time it would in your kitchen, about 20 minutes.
Wow.
Impressive.
Okay,
it takes you longer to eat it, though.
Yeah. Maybe not me. You haven't seen me eating dessert food.
Question.
But we will check back in with you here in just a little bit, and we're definitely going to have to try this. But first, we do want to send it back to Jerry Jacob because there is some news of the day happening today.
Jerry,
as well.
you got the con.
All right, thanks, Abby. We're having fun because this is the good part of the show. I love
I'm
Bluegrass
fanning myself,
music.
and the Spur of the Moment band here, they got a lot of fans, too.
We try to have a lot of fans at least.
You're Cody Cantwell?
Yes. And then we got also here with us, we have Wyatt Clevenger, Gary Cook,
there you go,
Ronnie Hedrick, and my grandpa's with us today, James Savage. Yep, that's my grandpa.
I love the fiddle.
Yeah, he's gonna tear it up here in a minute, I guess.
So what are you guys famous for? Do you do the traditional gospel stuff? Do you do new things that you write? What all do you do?
We typically do like the traditional bluegrass stuff.
Okay.
We do a little bit of fun stuff. We've got Ronnie, and he's a little bit wild, so we try to have fun with Ronnie and do some fun things.
Well, we're going to let you do a verse and a chorus or something. Take it away.
That sounds good.
Spur of the Moment.
Covering the Ozarks for 60 years, this is KY3 News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to KY3 News at 5. We are in the lovely Eureka Springs, and we are standing in front of the Queen Anne Mansion. What a place.
I mean, it is beautiful. We are just above the entrance to the historic downtown, if you've ever been here through Eureka Springs, right along Highway 62. And we are, of course, now at the end of our 60-year anniversary celebration for KY3 News. Hard to believe we're at the finale already.
It's been such a great road trip. It's hard to believe this is our final stop. We're in Eureka Springs, as we said tonight. We've been to the Ozark Empire Fair in Springfield for a couple of weeks, West Plains, Lake of the Ozarks. We went to Roaring River in Cassville.
Lebanon, Silver Dollar City, Harrison, Mountain Home, and of course, just last week in Bolivar, everyone has been so hospitable toward us.
It has been a great time. Great to get out and see everybody in all of those towns and all the surrounding towns who came to see us. Thanks for coming out.
You know, Eureka Springs is, as we've been sharing, a place unlike any other here in the Ozarks.
Yeah, among other things, it's been called the Little Switzerland of the Ozarks. And tonight, KY3 photojournalist Thomas Leonard shows us why.
Basically, we're in a valley on very steep, rocky hillsides. So to get from one level of street to the next, they built sets of stairs. And that's why we're called the stair-step town, because every place you go in Eureka is up, one way or another. It's an 1880 town. We still have a lot of the buildings from the late 1880s. When they rebuilt with stone. And we're still using a large number of those stone buildings and wooden buildings. We don't have any streets that cross at exact right angles. Some of them appear to be right angles, but they're not exact. We have basically the loop is one street winding up the mountain. We have 5 levels of streets, but they're all essentially the same street. But there's a lot of the ambiance that was here originally that is still here. No streetlights. We're very proud of that. And we also don't have that many stop signs. So we just encourage people when they come to town to be very aware that they're driving in an unusual place. A lot of people have always considered Eureka Springs very magical, and it still is in a great many ways. It's just not your typical tourist town. You know, we invite everyone. We have a lot of diversity here. Everyone is welcome.
So many cool stories coming out of Eureka Springs, and still ahead, we're going to take you inside some of the famous B&Bs here. Plus, we will go on a very special tour with a trolley driver who has taken 20,000 plus laps around the city.
That's a lot of laps. We have a great crowd with us tonight. Everybody happy to be here. There's still time for you to come out and join us. Register to win that TV. Stick around. We're back after this.
Welcome back to KY3's anniversary, 60 years here in the Ozarks. Got some very nice folks on hand with us to help us celebrate. Coming up at 6, we will be in Eureka Springs still with a look at the spas in the area.
And the Thorn Crown Chapel. Lots of good stuff coming up at 6. If you have time, make it out here. Register for the TV. We'll see you again at 6.